Red Bull, you probably weren't thinking about sponsoring me, but if you were, yeah, you need some Propel. What is this trash you got? We need some Propel, bro. I'm joking. You're gonna get hot. Okay, so take it back. Was there like a learning curve in terms of the leadership aspect of building out Walk Good? Yeah, walk me through, because it's like you don't just. All right, so I'm reading this book called "Build a Business You Love" by Dave Ramsey. There's like 6 different stages of business.
You know what I love? You have several references to the research that you have been reading up on.
Yes.
Not a lot of people who do podcasts nowadays are researching and reading, let alone reading books. So I applaud.
I appreciate that.
I applaud.
I gotta give Tally my co-host on our other show, because she was on me a little bit. Because I used to walk in here and just run and gun it. You know what I mean? So
can't do that.
Now I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. And I realize that's what sets you apart.
Sets you apart
in the space, and I had to realize that. But there's a second part of the building your business. And in that phase, it's like you go from doing everything yourself to having a team. But then you may get to that spot in your team where you got to learn how to delegate and deal with these people and manage and, build up that foundation. What have been some of those like learning curves as you built your team? I feel like you went kind of, I don't want to say you went fast, but it seems like you went fast.
I think we were just doing a lot. Like, think about it, bro. We were doing yoga classes every Sunday. For like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, yeah, we had like winter break. We would take January off.
What is that, 104 weeks straight?
I can't even keep count. I cannot keep count. We've done so many yoga classes in the park. We've done so many breathe goods in the park.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a point where it was really, really draining. So once the yard was built, so what, that's 3 years 3 years into it now. We had to just do Breathe Good once a month. And so that was a big adjustment in preserving our energy and preserving our bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, we're a team of 5. We have independent contractors.
Vendors, stuff like
that. But that was really hard to delegate for me, especially.
What you mean? What part of like?
Just like paperwork.
Oh, I hate
emails.
Yeah.
I'm still falling behind on emails. Thank God I have an assistant now.
Mm-hmm.
But when I didn't, I was missing opportunities, missing meetings, and it was making not only myself look bad, but it was making the business look bad. So, I really began to open myself up to help. So Jay and Kavi, they really have been holding it down. Mm-hmm. Jay, he's like my right hand. He's our director of operations, and he just makes sure that our partnerships are intact. The paperwork is filed, and then his brother Kavi, he takes all of our photos, but he's more than that. He really helps us operationally, just making sure that the right pages are up so that people can RSVP and sign up. And, I'll be honest, at the beginning of Walk Good, I was a real asshole. Like, I was,
real.
Yeah, man.
What you mean?
Because, like, listen, because it's Scottie and Friends, I can be honest.
Let's go. Yes.
This is a safe space.
Yes, it's a safe space.
Bro, I was really just not the nicest to my cousin and my sister and just my team, just because I felt like I was right all the time. And I could honestly look back and say that was just a wrong way of approaching.
So you weren't wrong, but it was the wrong way of
everybody else was wrong.
I went about it wrong, though. I just went about it wrong.
I went about it completely wrong. And it made me, like, even diving deeper into my mindfulness practice, I got my yoga certification, a year into Walk Good at the Tree Co-op, which is actually a yoga studio in South Central. And that really just changed my whole perspective on leadership and care. And I felt like I was just disregarding my cousin and my sister's inputs into how they can make Walk Good better. And I'll be honest, like, my cousin Marley, she's like the yoga guru of our family. She's the one who really inspired me to even be a yoga instructor. And there aren't that many Black men in the wellness space, and I'm one of very few. But there are some of us out there, but it's not like
I don't know any, honestly. Yeah, it's safe to say it.
There are a lot of them, but like it's few and far in between. I'll say that. But I say all that to say is it really taught me how to take care of your team and make them feel like they are of value.
Yeah.
But before you make sure that they feel of value, you have to value yourself. And I think that I was so focused on, Walk Good being the cool community organization, but I wasn't making sure that home was taken care of. And even till today, man, like sometimes I have to hold my tongue because sometimes if your teammates feel passionately about how they can make your project better, why not just try?
Yeah.
Just try it out. And if it doesn't work, then you try your way. But if you have teams that want to see you do better, you should honor that, And that's something that I'm constantly working on.
Okay, good to know. Because I feel like that. See, again, even there's so many things I feel like I won't say held me back because I don't think I'm held back in any way. I think I don't move as fast as I could, and I think some of that is because you said like even now like.
Well, if you want to go fast, go alone.
Yeah, if you want to you want to go far.
If you want to go far, you go
100%. But I think I'm kind of extreme, so I went from like I could do it hard nosed, pushing, and then when
sustainable, bro.
But then when I got people on the team, I think now I'm kind of suffering from like, well, you just do it and you got it. I'm gonna just let you do whatever, and I'm completely hands off. And I feel like
you can't be completely hands off, right? You still have to advise.
Yeah. Okay.
You still have to be like the person to be like, well, maybe you could do it this way. You got to give people options.
Do it more efficiently.
Exactly. Even in yoga, for instance, like I always give my class the opportunity to try it differently. There are options and way to do this pose. I think a lot of times people have this misconceived notion that it has to be this way.
Yeah.
But you have to, in order to make it accessible, you have to give them options.
He did. It was we was at Kenneth Hahn. I think it was something with like one knee in the air, and then all I heard was this man say, "If you're in the beginning, you can put your other knee down." I said, thank God, because I was up there and I'm like, I look pretty fit, bro, but like that yoga it's not.
It's all about the breath.
Oh, man.
It's all about the breath. We were talking about people who we listen to in their podcast. There's somebody who I listen to often. His name is Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty. He talks about the importance of breath. He was saying how he went to this Buddhist monastery and these kids were teaching mindfulness, and this kid said something very profound. He asked Jay, what's the first thing that we do when we come into this world? Breathe. Yeah. What's the last thing we do when we leave this world?
Breathe. Exactly. That's the first and last thing you ever gonna do.
That's first and last thing you will ever do in this life. So while you're on this earth, why not learn how to use your breath more effectively? And I mean, it's the one thing that's constant in our lives. When we're angry, you start breathing hard. When you're frustrated, anxious, you start breathing super fast, right? But when you're calm, you're more relaxed. Breathe nice and slow, And I think being able to have control of your breath and learn to regulate your nervous system, that's a superpower that a lot of us just don't take advantage of. So I always remind people, yoga is not about the postures. It is not about the postures. It's about your ability to breathe fully within your body.
Okay. Can you show me how to breathe correctly?
I mean,
is there a way?